Title: The Lost History of How Money Became a Tool of Control. Long-form script, 1,000+ words. Intro hook. The mystery we were never told. Most people believe money is simply a tool, a neutral invention created to make life easier, a way to trade, to save, to plan. But what if the real story is the opposite? What if money was never designed to serve ordinary people, but to control them? Today, every nation is drowning in debt. Every government prints money that doesn't exist. Every economic boom is followed by a crisis that seems strangely predictable. And yet, no one can fully explain why the system always tilts in favor of the same powerful few. So, in this video, we're pulling apart the layers of history, not the version found in textbooks, but the version hidden in the backrooms of empires, early banks, and political deals. Because money didn't just evolve, it was and once you see the blueprint, you can't unsee it. Section 0 No. Origin: the first time money was used to CIONT Our journey starts thousands of years ago, long before paper notes, digital banking, or central banks. Human trade originally worked on trust, reputation, and community. But the moment rulers realized resources meant power, they needed a way to measure, store, and extract that power. And so, money began. But here's the twist. The earliest money wasn't gold or silver. It was debt. In Mesopotamia, around 3000 BCE, temples and royal institutions issued clay tablets, recording who owed what. People weren't exchanging coins. They were exchanging obligations. Debts became a way to track behavior, loyalty, and labor. And rulers quickly learned something dangerous. If you control the unit of debt, you control the people. Kings would periodically erase debts to reset society, and then reissue them to keep citizens tied to state institutions. Debt wasn't an accident. It was a tool. Then came the next turning point: metal coins. At first glance, coins seem like a liberating innovation, something solid, valuable, portable. But look deeper. Coins were stamped not just with weights, but with the faces of rulers. They weren't a symbol of value. They were a symbol of authority. Coins allowed empires to pay soldiers, expand borders, and tax populations more efficiently. Money wasn't just an economic instrument. It was a military one. Empires discovered a secret that echoes today. If you create the money, you can fund anything, even if you don't actually have the resources. Section 2. Rise. The bankers who rewrote the era. Let's fast forward to medieval Europe. Kings were constantly fighting wars they couldn't afford. Armies needed funding, and taxes weren't enough. So monarchs turned to a new type of power broker: early bankers. This is where families like the Medici rise. They weren't soldiers, they weren't kings, yet they controlled something more powerful: credit. They created a revolutionary concept: money that exists only as numbers and ledgers. And with this invention, a new class of elites emerged: people who didn't rule by birth, but by controlling the flow of capital. But there was a flaw. Kings hated owing money to private bankers. They feared the power of those who financed their wars. So, eventually, rulers found a permanent solution. They would create their own banks. Section 3. The Breaking Point. The birth of central bank in 1694. England faced a national crisis. Endless wars had drained the treasury. Gold was scarce. Debt was exploding. And the government needed a miracle. That miracle became the Bank of England, the first modern central bank. It began with a simple idea. Private investors would lend money to the government. In exchange, the bank would receive the legal authority to issue banknotes, paper money, to the public. This moment changed everything. Money was no longer tied to metal. It was tied to confidence. Confidence in institutions, confidence in promises, confidence in the illusion of stability.